I know what you've done. You've been skipping legs, but hopefully by the end of this video, you'll actually want to train legs and be excited to train them, probably like how you are with your other muscle groups like your chest or biceps or whatever. Because I'm going to give you the mindset as well as a few tips on how to make leg day more fun. My name's Naveed, and I always used to skip legs, and I would not too often, I would skip the entire leg day, although I would do that as well, but I'd always just dread it, and maybe I'd do the first few exercises, just do squats and deadlifts, and then just kind of, whatever, just skip the rest, I don't need to hit calves, especially calves. I always skip calves, honestly. Although, like, people always joke about it, like how, oh, it's leg day, man, oh, I feel bad for you. But, like, I've genuinely come to the point where I really do enjoy training legs, and it's actually, like, really fun for me. And, I also still do joke about it and stuff with my friends, like, oh, it's leg day, man, like, but, like, actually, just yesterday, I had one of the best leg days ever, and I felt so fulfilled, and I did a lot of stuff, like a little bit more than I usually do, and it just felt great afterwards, and even during it as well. And like I was actually going hard. And one of the most important things to enjoying leg day is just the mindset, especially. And the thing is, yeah, leg day might be one of the hardest, if not the hardest day out of any other days of like a generic split, versus like chest and back or like push or pull or whatever. And like, yeah, it probably is the most painful, the most psychologically painful, the most mentally challenging. But you gotta stop viewing that as a bad thing and actually view it as a good thing that it's a hard workout. As the legendary Tom Platz once said, if you can squat, you can do anything, right? And like, that just goes to show, like, the squat is probably one of the hardest movements, psychologically, specifically. Like, it's just really hard to push yourself on that exercise. And other than just like that specific exercise, just legs in general is hard as well. But the thing is, if you can do that, when you're doing that hard thing, everything else sort of seems easier in contrast. It's like it kind of builds your mental toughness. A few years ago, I started doing martial arts, and when I first started, that was like the new, like, hardest thing in my life. That was the most challenging thing I was doing out of everything. And the thing is, when I started doing that more, everything else sort of seemed easier. And I also used to be very socially awkward. And the weird thing is, like, once I started doing martial arts a lot more, I actually became less socially awkward. And it's kind of because, like, when you're doing something really hard, everything else seems easier, even if you're not getting better at that specific skill. I know that's kind of like weird, like what we're supposed to be talking about, like not skipping legs here, but it kind of just goes to show how, like, doing a hard thing like hitting legs will actually transfer to all areas of life. Imagine you want to climb a mountain, right? Just like a normal-ish size mountain, whatever that means. Imagine you tried to climb that mountain. It would be pretty hard, right? But now imagine first you climbed Mount Everest, and then maybe a few weeks later, you climbed the other mountain you wanted to climb. Now it's going to seem like nothing. It's going to seem super easy, right? Because you just did something a lot harder. So like in contrast, it's gonna seem a lot easier. And not only did you, get better at climbing mountains, like you kind of build up the skill, so now it's easier, but also even just the perception, like, oh, I just climbed Mount Everest, like this is nothing to me, right? So like it's not even just about growing your legs. Like me personally, honestly, I don't even care that much about my legs, to be real. Like more so my upper body and my arms. Like my legs are actually decently developed compared to my upper body. But like it's not just about the leg development, it's also just the mental toughness you're getting and like just the transfer to all areas of life. Like you're just developing yourself and you're just getting better at doing hard things, which obviously you're gonna need that throughout your whole life. Okay, now let's get into some tips, some practical things you can do to actually make leg day a bit more enjoyable if you still don't want to do it. The first tip is to just lift heavy because it's fun. Okay, like for example, I deadlift on leg day. Some people deadlift on back day. You know what? Different strokes for different folks, okay? But I deadlift on leg day and I go heavy and it's really fun for me. And if I'm doing something super fun on leg day, like deadlifting heavy, which I like, I'm a lot less likely to skip legs. And even if it's not lifting heavy, just like anything that makes it more fun for you, whatever it may be, like different exercises, different rep ranges, whatever. Just try to make it a little more enjoyable to what you actually want to do. The second tip is to put the hardest thing first. So for me, that's probably going to be squats. And this goes back to the Tom Platz quote, right? It's like if I squat first, and that's the hardest thing, after that everything else is gonna seem a bit easier. So if I just get that thing out of the way right away, the hardest thing, then I'll be more likely to do everything else. Because like if I go in and people want to do this like pre-exhaust stuff, do some leg extensions before squats, it's like if I do anything before squats, like I'm way more likely to skip it because it's like so hard. It takes everything. Recently, I've been doing slightly higher reps on squats, sets of like around 10 to 12, like to failure. And let me tell you, it's way harder, and I also feel a lot more in my quads versus just like doing a heavy set of 5. So once again, like it's just really hard. I've been experimenting more with like heavier on my first set, and then the second set like the higher reps. The third tip is to put something fun like biceps or shoulders after your leg workout. Now, I don't just do this like randomly. On my second leg workout of the week on Fridays is when I'll do biceps and shoulders afterward. This will help just like increase volume for those muscles and like frequency as well, but also just give you something to like look forward to. I'll like just once I finish this leg workout, then I can do some biceps. You're more likely to get through it. I mean, if it doesn't work with your split, like the frequency, then maybe just don't do it, but like any small muscles that you enjoy training. The fourth tip is to do slightly lower volume because like, if you do super high volume, it might seem pretty scary. I only do 2 sets of squats. If you gotta go in there and do 4 sets of squats, 4 sets of leg extensions, 4 sets of leg curls, everything, you're way less likely to do it. It just seems more scary in your head. But like if you do less, then you can actually go hard. And especially if legs aren't a priority, then that'll just make things a lot easier. The fifth tip is to just get hyped up, get focused. Music, of course, very important. Get the right music going. Now with caffeine, I feel like it's not very sustainable, but you can use it like once every now and then. I don't really use it much. It definitely works, but like, I mean, I've talked about this before, but basically it just gives you like highs and lows, and why use it once every now and then? Like, if I can't use it every day, I'm probably just not gonna use it at all. But it definitely works, and you can if you want. Another thing is to learn to do things with good form, kind of more like bodybuilding form, and really like feel the muscles. Like once I started doing this for squats, I started feeling my quads way more, and I honestly enjoyed it a lot more. Because if you do like a lot of typical powerlifting form, it feels crappy, honestly. It doesn't feel good at all. But if you do more like a bodybuilding form, then you'll actually be able to feel the muscles, everything will feel smoother, and you won't need to do as much like crazy like bracing or whatever to get the same amount of stimulus to the muscles. Except for deadlifts, that's the one thing. I basically just do like strength for deadlifts. I'm just a power lifter, but everything else, bodybuilder. I will say they have gotten me some pretty good erection. Like erectors, spinal erectors. Yeah, that's basically all the tips. If you skip legs again, I'm watching you, okay? I will know. By the way, if you resonate with what I'm saying, then if you want completely free help with your fitness, then just email me. You can follow me on Instagram if you want. I just post like progress, like of myself, like progress pictures or lifts. Been posting mainly like my deadlift PRs recently. Road to 405. Also ignore the fact that I'm in a dark basement. Don't worry, I'm not being kidnapped. Yeah, that's it for the video. Have a good one. Don't skip legs.